who ran practice yesterday? Who had the best day for the last OTA practice open to the media? The Patriots have a couple more this week, but as of Monday, June 2nd, who had the best day?
I mean, the honest answer is probably undrafted wide receiver Efton Chisum, which is, I don't know, maybe a good and bad sign for the Patriots. But Drake May was much better. But I mean, Efton Chisum caught 7 passes on 7 targets. Like, he was the most targeted receiver out there. He had the most catches out there. And it seems like the team is pretty impressed with him as well. Like, he caught passes from all 3 quarterbacks, Drake May, Joshua Dobbs, and Ben Wooldridge, which means that he's at times sharing the field with Drake May, which is a really good sign for an undrafted wide receiver. And one of the reasons that I've heard he's able to do that is that he was able to pick up the offense very quickly from a mental standpoint, which is a really good sign as well for a young rookie wide receiver in a Josh McDaniels offense, because it hasn't always been the easiest offense to learn. So clearly the coaching staff trusts him enough to put him out there early and often with all 3 quarterbacks. He's getting open, and the team believes that he's been extremely consistent over these first 3 weeks of practice. So I like, not to throw water on it, but we have seen players stand out during OTAs and mini camp and early in training camp before the pads come on, and then disappear a little bit when the pads come on. We saw it last year with Javon Baker at times, where he was really good in early part of the summer, but then kind of disappeared a little bit. So the real test, the next test for Efton Chisum, is that he can do this when the pads come on in late July, early August. But for now, the coaching staff is trusting him. His quarterbacks are trusting him. And like, this is truly a wide open wide receiver room. And we can get into that a little bit more later on in this podcast. But like, based on how the wide receiver room is constructed, really the only person you can lock into a starting role right now is Stephon Diggs, assuming he's going to be healthy. There's really no, and it truly feels like everyone else on the roster is competing for those other 2 starting roles, including Efton Chisum. So like, I know it sounds insane for me to say like this undrafted rookie wide receiver could be a starter, but like anyone at wide receiver on the Patriots roster could be a starter right now. And Efton Chisum is getting the same opportunities as those other guys. And in about half the players on the roster, like more opportunities than half those guys. So yeah, I mean, he had a really good practice. He's had a really good spring, and we'll see if that can continue into the summer.
Efton Chisum, absolutely the player of the day yesterday. Undrafted kid, Eastern Washington, FCS All-American, all very cool. I did not give much of a shot, if at all, to make the roster. My mind has not really changed, but the percentage points are going up because so often on this podcast and other places, you have to do the qualifiers. No pads, voluntary, blah, 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 this and that. It's required. It's necessary. It's context. It tells you what's going on. The only counter to that is what I say when people get on teams that get off that fast starts and they're like, oh, well, look at the strength of schedule. They're not playing anyone. They're not beating anyone. Do you think they picked the schedule? Okay, like you can only play the teams in front of you. Efton Chisum right now can only practice in the practices put on the schedule in front of him. So without pads, yes. Without Marcus Jones even in the slot yesterday. So we got a lot of Marcellus Dial when he was in the slot. When he was outside, there was no Carlton Davis, and we'll get to the rest of the attendance here in a second. Like, he played really well. And the fact that they trusted him to be outside, which is a requisite in the Josh McDaniels system where the guys move from X and Z and into the slot, he performed, which I don't think he can live there in the NFL. This is a small guy who ran a 4.71. And even if you think the scout there had some personal grudge because he's dating that scout's ex-girlfriend or for whatever reason, like, it's still a big jump to go to like 4.65 and ask him to play outside of the NFL at 5'11" or whatever it is. The point, though, is the 7 catches on 7 targets, 1 from Drake May, and that he was ahead of guys like Javon Baker and has played better than fellow rookie Kyle Williams. This is not to project. It's just to say that in the preseason schedule, as it were, in front of Efton Chisum right now, where there are no pads and it's flag football, he's looked great. And honestly, I don't want to do, there wasn't a close second. There wasn't. Like, Drake May had a good day. But we led off with the undrafted kid out of Eastern Washington.